I can't believe it. Here I am visiting with family and everyone is glued to their phones. You know, when I was a child, my parents didn't let me have a phone right away. And while I was upset about it then, I am so grateful now because I'm not one of those adults that is glued to their phone.
Hold on, okay? I'm trying to finish Tokyo Ghoul before somebody spoils it for me. I know you'd rather us just watch it on the television, but I'm telling you, not all anime is for kids, and I don't feel like traumatizing anybody here.
I'd be more social right now, but honestly, I'm trying to send memes to a friend that is not doing so well right now, and I want to cheer them up.
Oh, it's just so upsetting how media is taking over our lives these days. And don't even get me started on those violent video games. That Fortnite game, I will never let my children even look at that game. So violent. Children should not be shooting at each other.
Oh, come on, you stupid cop!
Did you hear that? I think she's playing that gangster police shooting game. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that she is playing that violent cop shooting game, and it's getting really heated right now, so I'm going in there and I'm exposing her on my mom's group, okay? She's a teacher. She should not be playing those kinds of games. Ha! I see what you're doing, gamer girl. How could you tell me that you're a good teacher while you're playing that violent cop shooting game, huh?
Get out of here, I'm streaming right now.
No, you're playing that violent cop-hating game, aren't you?
Huh? What are you talking about? You mean Grand Theft Auto? Does this look like GTA to you? I'm playing a homelessness simulator for my charity challenge. And you're in my shot. Go away.
Don't you lie to me. You were talking about
What?
hurting cops.
I didn't say anything about that. I'm out here in the streets trying to get some money so I can live, and a cop arrested me for panhandling.
You were talking about killing cops. You're playing a gangster game.
I am not playing GTA. This game doesn't even let you hurt anything. But listen, even if I was playing GTA, you know that stuff's pretend, right? Nobody plays GTA and then goes off and shoots a cop.
Aha! So you do play that cop killing game. Just wait until I post this to Facebook.
Huh? Are you filming me right now? Get out of my room!
All of this media is just rotting people's brains. I cannot believe that I grew up with these girls, and yet I am the only one who is not addicted to her phone or playing violent video games.
I'm done texting if you want to talk now.
No, I changed my mind. I'm going to do something intellectual and read a book.
Well, you mentioned the internet. We have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And we have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it. And
so what if being a man kind idiot? One nation controlled by the media. Information age of hysteria. It's going out to idiot America.
I can't believe she's gonna tell on me to her mom's club. I mean, who does that? And while we're at it, who still films vertically like this? I mean, come on. Everyone knows it's supposed to be horizontal. What is she, an old lady? Moron. And that argument, too. Video games cause violence. Yeah, okay. Where's the facts? Actually, you know what? I bet I could beat her at her own game. She wants to come at them saying, oh, they cause violence, and try and defame me, I can get her back. I can do some research. Then she'll look like a total idiot. Okay, that's actually a really good idea, and I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, so if I'm going to do some research, I need to lay down some ground rules, right? I can only get research from credible websites. Credible is a fancy word that just means I can trust it. And that isn't just like me personally. These are rules that everybody should be able to follow because you want to find good, trustworthy information. If you were trying to make a big, important decision, right? Like, who should I vote for? Or where should I live? Or where should I go to college even? You're going to want to have credible research, right? You don't want to just hear from Joe Schmo. You want to hear from people who actually know what they're talking about, who have done the research or been to the places where the action happened, right? Here's how to find out if a website is credible, okay? There's 4 things. Number 1, is it a website that only professionals are allowed to post to? Now, by that, I don't necessarily mean that if they have a job, then it's okay. What I mean is, do they work for the website that I'm looking at? Or do they just let anybody with an account type in whatever garbage comes to mind and vomit it out onto the screen? If anyone can post, it is not credible. So that's number 1. Second thing, is the website that I'm looking at dated 10 years old or younger? I need the website to be recent. I don't want to be looking at old information, right? Think of it this way. If I tried to figure out who I should vote for and I looked up a website that was 10 years old, it's not going to give me information that I can use because it's going to be talking about a presidential campaign that happened way long ago instead of the one that just happened. Or if I want to look at it a different way, since I'm looking up video games, there's no way I'm going to be looking up old video games. I mean, think about it. Video games have been around for a long time, right? I don't want to look up the video games from 10 years ago. I want to look up the games that are happening right now because those are the ones that most people are playing. So as long as it's 10 years old or younger. So if I count backwards from the date, like let's say that it's 2010, I should be able to count it on all 10 fingers. Number 3, do they cite information? Remember how you learned how to cite things? Where you pull quotes from people so that you can prove why you're right? There's a reason why we make you do that. It's because it makes you more trustworthy. It's not just you saying it, somebody else is also saying it and backing you up. You want to find articles that are also using citations or other people's work to prove why they are correct. So usually that looks like a bunch of quotes, or there's often some hyperlinks, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Lastly, and not quite as important as the other ones, but still useful, is the website professional looking? If it doesn't look like somebody took their time to make it look nice, or there's spelling errors, or there's like some weird coloring going on, or you get pop-up ads that flash every 2 seconds. If you see things like that, it's probably not credible. Just because, I mean, if they're not paying money to get somebody to make it look nice, they're probably not paying somebody enough to write an article that is trustworthy. So with those 4 things, and let's say them again, can anyone post? If they can, it's not credible. Is it younger than 10 years old? If it is, then it is credible. Do they cite things? If they are using quotes from other people's work, then it is credible. And lastly, does it look professional? If it looks professional, then we're good to go. With that said, let's start looking up some articles on this, right? So I'm at Google, right? And I want to find out, are video games making people violent? So I can just type that right into the search bar. Let's see what I get. So, how do video games... Whoops. Make sure you spell things correctly. How do video games affect... I like this one. Affect behavior. So let me look this up. Okay. Now, first thing I want to point out is that even though I'm using Google, Google is not a credible source. What I mean by that is Google likes to give you website information, but Google does not actually tell you whether the website is good or if it is bad. And in this case, it actually shows me a pull quote from this website called Business Insider. Now it does tell me the date, and the date is 2018. So it's definitely younger than 10 years old, but do I know who wrote it? No. Do I know if they cited things? Not really. I mean, it does say according to the research from the American Psychological Association, but I'm still not really sure. Like, one citation isn't really going to cut it. And then lastly, I don't know if this thing is professional or not. I need to actually click on the link, which I'm going to do right now, and I'm going to find out, is this website credible or not? So let me click on it. Here we are. We're finally at the top of the page. Now, I need to look for an author's name, and it better be a real name. I don't want to see any like Game Shark 93s. It needs to be a real person's name, not their avatar name. So Kevin, Loria, it's even hyperlinked, so I bet you if I click on it, I can find out who this guy is. Okay, so here's his picture. It says Kevin was a correspondent covering science and health for Business Insider. So he's paid by the website in order to get these articles up there. It sounds like they're not just letting anybody post to this website. So got one down. Number 2, we already said that it is at least younger than 10. It's very recent. It's about 2 years old. Last thing I need to check, last 2 things I need to check. Do they cite things? We did see that they had one citation. Now I need to see if they've got other ones. I'm going to be looking for hyperlinks and quotes. And then the last thing, is this a professional website? So I do actually see some hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are easy to spot because they're usually different colors than the rest of the text. And usually they're underlined, although in this case they're not. But I can see, and actually when I hover over it, it does underline itself. So if I clicked on this, it would take me to, I can see down here where it would take me. It takes me to businessinsider.com. So the same website, but it generalizes video games. Down here I see another one, which also links me to Business Insider. I see another one, which is a different article, but talking about Donald Trump and how he blamed video games. Figures. Even the president blames video games for violence. So here's them citing from a totally different website, which it's not wrong that they're only citing from their own website. They like it when you continuously just click on more links for their website. Their website does kind of look like it's credible, so probably that's okay. But I like how they are also citing from other websites, because that to me shows that they're not just using their own people, but they're also looking at what other people have said. And of course, we did get that quote from Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't work for Business Insider, so it does seem like they're getting this information from outside sources. There are a lot of citations. So far, it's got 3 things down. It has a professional author that wrote it. It is younger than 10 years old, and it has a bunch of citations or quotes from other sources. The last thing I need to say is, does this thing look professional? And if I'm looking at this thing, I would say, yeah, it's professional. How I know it's professional is, even though it does show me ads and stuff, it's not like the ads are constantly flashing in my face. It's not like the ads are popping up. I'm also not seeing any misspellings, janky looking colors. This does look like it's professional. So this thing meets all 4 criteria for what makes a credible website. So if I wanted to use this, I absolutely could. I want to show you what a bad website looks like. Alright, so here is the website that I know a lot of you guys like to use. It's not a good source though, and here's why. Because now I don't have a Wikipedia account, but it is possible for anybody to edit these articles. Not all of them. A lot of them they do blocks so that people can't just go in there and change whatever they want, because people can do that. It's very simple. Now, like I said, I don't have a Wikipedia account. I don't want one. But I can edit this page if I were to get an account. See how it says, I'm not logged in, my IP address will be publicly visible if you make edits. It's really hard to screw with Wikipedia anymore. It used to be that you could just type in whatever you wanted, and it would take a while for Wikipedia to take it down. Nowadays, it's pretty quick. If you mess around with it, they're gonna catch you. But it's still possible for somebody to mess with it enough that you're stuck looking at bad information if you happen to get there while somebody who is screwing around on Wikipedia plays with one of the articles. It is rare, but I have seen it happen where somebody has edited an article on Wikipedia to say something that was not true. It happened one time out of the many times that I have used Wikipedia, because yeah, I use Wikipedia. I don't know a single person who doesn't. However, if I'm going to use this to tell people why video games don't make you violent, I'm not going to cite things from Wikipedia. I'm going to be citing things from sources that most people would say are credible. So because of that very small chance that Wikipedia could be bad, because somebody could have messed with it, I can't use Wikipedia. There's one other thing that I have to point out, and that is, and I'm going to just break the rules a little bit and type in that stupid website's name. And as you can see, I played around a little to make sure that it popped up, but I do want to point out this particular website, which is Quora. This is a bad website. You can make your own account, right? You can sign in and post your answer to whoever wrote a question. It's similar to Reddit, only you're supposed to put your real name, you're supposed to put what your occupation is so that it looks a little more credible. But honestly, I could lie and say that I'm a nuclear physicist and respond to people's questions, and nobody would be able to stop me. So it's not a good website. Do not use Quora. The same thing goes for debate.com. Also not a good website, and I see people use that a lot. So don't use this website. Do not use debate.com. They're both bad websites. That's about all I have to say about this. Let's just go over it one last time. In order to find a credible source, you need 4 things. 1, a professional author's name. 2, a date that is younger than 10 years old. 3, it needs to have citations, which are quotes from another source. And lastly, 4, does it look professional? Because if it has misspellings, if it looks janky, if there's pop-up ads all over the place, it's probably not a good website. Don't use it. All right, well, I clearly have my work ahead of me. You guys do too. Let's all get to work. And in the meantime, remember, that's just a fact. A credible website fact. Goodbye, guys.
So what if being a mankind idiot? One nation controlled by the media. Information age of hysteria. It's going out to idiot America.